For not very long, but I guess the last few weeks I have been recording some rants during my planning period. I'm in a classroom right now. Go Bulldogs. And this will not be my classroom after Friday. I am actually leaving the profession. I am quitting. Well, actually, I did quit, but Friday is my last day. I think we have a month left of school after that, and I will not be the teacher in this classroom. I've recorded a video like this several times, but I think that instead of just completely putting, it's not even my school, but just how education is these days on blast, there is one issue I really want to talk about as an educator who is leaving, that I feel like a lot of people have tried to address, but school boards and superintendents and people who actually can make this true difference in their school districts aren't listening. I actually wrote basically what felt like an essay in my exit survey for this county. And what I really want to talk about is how technology is ruining education. So in my county, every student in the county, I believe from 6th grade through 12th grade, gets their own district or county distributed iPad. Every kid gets an iPad for the school year, and they are to turn it back in at the end of the school year, and then they get it back in August or whenever we come back. I have seen where to even begin? A lot of what I'm going to talk about is a little bit drawn from other videos I have seen, but it opened my eyes to so many things, and I have been wondering why the technology sucked so much and why I hated it. And for a while, because I'm an English teacher as of this moment right now, but before I taught English, I was in a computer lab and I taught digital arts. I taught a class called multimedia, which was to teach students how to use like word processing programs, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, and other just online tools that 6th graders need to know about. And I have taught a little bit of computer science. I'm not really computer science savvy, but it was an introductory course and I could teach them a little bit of coding. That's not the point. Point is, I thought I hated technology because kids were iPad kids growing up and they just have too much access to games and entertainment, and they don't want to use technology for education. They want to use it for entertainment. And to a degree that is true, but what I am learning is more than that, and that technology is directly contributing to the literacy decrease we are seeing in this country right now. A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them in seconds. Their attention spans are waning because everything is high stimulation. They can just scroll, watch less than a minute. They can't sit still for very long. Something I've realized is, like, on a day, I know when I was their age, I thought movie days were a treat. I loved movie days. It was a way to relax, kind of take a break. And for them, what they mean when they say they want a movie is they want a movie on in the background for the noise while they scroll on their phones, put their headphones in and look at TikTok and maybe talk to their friends and not pay attention to anything. Whenever I do have a movie day, I can count on one hand the amount of students in all 3 classes that I teach throughout the day who maybe actually pay attention to the movie. It's frustrating and it's disheartening because if I ask a child to handwrite something, even just a paragraph, 5 sentences, basic paragraph, they roll their eyes, they throw tantrums, I'm talking about high schoolers. I teach 10th grade now. They get really unruly, and because I'm young too, they want to argue with me about it, and they want to say, why can't we just type it? Why can't we just type it? Well, it's because you'll go on another website, or you'll copy it, or use AI, you'll use ChatGPT. And I understand that our world is going in a direction where AI is going to be more prevalent, even in the workforce someday. That still doesn't take away that these are basic skills you need to survive. I think I am technically considered an older Gen Z. So I'm a 99 baby. I was born on the cusp, I think. I don't actually know the cutoff, but I do think I am mostly a Gen Z. And I think I grew up in a time when history was still important, learning what the Declaration of Independence was still important, knowing how to understand the amendments, and I'm bringing up history because this is stuff that I feel like every American needs to understand the value of. And if you can't read, and if you don't care to read or learn the vocabulary or learn your context clues, you're never going to understand it, and therefore it's never going to mean anything to you, and you're never going to have real opinions and be able to understand and formulate why laws and certain governing structures make sense, and why we have the right to vote, why this stuff is important. And I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter, because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college. Call me old-fashioned. I will be old-fashioned, but we are at the point where I really don't have a lot of faith in some of these kids that I teach. That doesn't go for all. I have several kids across all the classes I have taught this school year alone that I think have really bright futures ahead of them and who want to succeed and who want to try really hard. And then kids who I feel like the older generations have failed them because they haven't emphasized to them enough that learning how to read and write and use basic mathematic skills is important. They haven't emphasized that to them. And so these kids just have these devices in their hands that they think will get them through the rest of their life, and they're failing in life and in my class. So if anyone who has the power to make a difference in school districts across the country, I really hope that you hear not even just me, but the billions of teachers out there that probably feel the same way. I shouldn't say billions, maybe millions, thousands. I don't know. There's a lot of us out there who feel that way. And I just want you to look at the test scores and the literacy rates and the statistics from when students didn't use technology to now. There is nothing wrong with using your budget on textbooks and workbooks and paper copies of things again. There is nothing wrong with starting that in elementary schools and carrying it through. It might be a 20-year plan, doesn't matter. We've got to start reintegrating this. We've got to start getting rid of the technology and bringing back the things that worked. And if you've made it this far in this video and you're wondering why I'm leaving the classroom, that's a whole story for another time, but to give you a synopsis, I wasn't always a teacher. I went into teaching 3 years ago to see if this was for me. I come from a long line of teachers, and the schedule sounded appealing, and the opportunity to work with teenagers sounded appealing. I really like working with younger groups and like teaching and, just in general. And truly, the technology has ruined it. The behavior, which is another something that's coming from all of this, has ruined it. And my main motivator for leaving was the pay. But I think that if the experience overall had been better, I could have toughed it out with the pay. But it's just been a really poor experience. This generation is really tough, and I will admit that I'm just not cut out for it. Anyone who starts now and will be a teacher from here on out with the generation that we're teaching right now, I commend you. God bless. I wish I was stronger in that way. But yeah, thank you if you made it this far in the video.